Hello, welcome to a Soulprint mini. Thank you so very, very much for being here today. I want to take another look at Mike Johnson. Okay, so he's now talking about how he's pretty sure he has enough votes to start an impeachment inquiry against Biden. There's been more and more stuff coming out about him and kind of his very stringent religious beliefs, and furthermore, his rock solid, frankly, belief that kind of white Christians should be the ones to make the rules and run the United States based on their own personal religious philosophies. And so where do you get this separation of state and church? But he's certainly going to push for an amalgamation of the two. That is sort of his agenda. And if that means that and listen, he was also somebody who led, I think it was in Texas, but I could be wrong, a lawsuit, going after Biden because or trying to defend Trump because Trump really didn't lose the election, which of course we know is like a fantasy baked up by some fevered brains. So it's not like he is within the realm of sort of the normal Republicans, okay? But he is going to play the game until he can't play the game anymore. And I'm hearing by January and February when, so he did that budget and he broke two pieces off and one thing was covered until January and one was covered until February. Well, those two renewals, if you will, are going to cause him a lot of problems because they're not going to go the way his caucus wants them to go. And additionally, um, sorry, and additionally, you're going to see more stuff coming out about him that just makes it really hard, I think, for him to sort of continue to function. So let's take a quick peek, shall we, at Mike Johnson and see what is going on with him. I did see something, somebody Carvel, and if any of you, I'm sure he's on other channels, but I know he's often on MSNBC. He's an older guy, and very, very straight spoken. Apparently, there was some sort of a event, I guess, and Mike Johnson was using his daughter. She was signing like a chastity pledge or vow or something. And he just went off about, using your children in that way. And this is the thing. If Mike Johnson and his daughter wanted to do that, that's terrific. Don't turn it into a media event then. Then that is something that should be a family affair and not necessarily something for the cameras to record. So, that was where the issue came from. So again, he's really being frank about kind of how he sees things. Let's take a look, shall we? Trajectory, Mike Johnson. Trajectory, Mike Johnson. Trajectory, Mike Johnson. Right, so we're starting with the Eight of Swords. Okay, so he is going to find himself in this place where he doesn't actually have a lot of room to maneuver. But more importantly, the other message I'm getting from this is that this is somebody, see those blinders? It is like he only sees the world the way he sees the world, the way he chooses to see the world. And anything beyond that is wrong. Simply, it's just simply wrong. It doesn't fit into his very narrow um, vision of society, certainly American society. And so there's a lot of stuff that he is frankly prepared to either completely ignore or try to outlaw. All right. I mean, that's, you just have to understand you're dealing with somebody who has a real set of blinders on. And in some ways, it is his own religious beliefs and structure that actually bind him. Okay. Um, because they really are really entrenched um, in him. Now, I'm not saying that makes him a good soul, or a disciple of God or anything. But what I am saying is that those beliefs are rock solid, and he's not going to shift or change if the political expectations or the political norms shift and change. Okay, he's locked in. And from what I can tell, he's got the six of cups. This goes back a long ways with him. I don't know what his childhood was like. I don't know how he was raised, but this is something that not only has it been part of his belief structure for a long time, but he is very much determined to raise his family in that um, mold. All right. And that's, again, that terrific. That's his choice. That's a choice between him and his wife. His wife has any say in anything. Um, but again, because you're dealing with somebody who looks like this, he has no tolerance for anything that doesn't look like this. Okay, like that blinder vision. However, he's going to discover that things are not going to just unfold the way he would like them to. We're starting with the Page of Wands, immediately followed by the Hanging Man. Okay, so what he's going to find is that he gets stopped and stalled. He will be encouraged to at least, glance at other perceptions. He's not going to find it an easy road as he moves forward. And he's going to continue to kind of try to figure out what the next step is. What can I do next? What do I, where do I go from here? And because again, it's very narrow and it has nothing to do with running the government. I mean, this is, I think, where he's going to run into trouble with non-mega Republicans because there's all this stuff that hasn't gotten done by the House because they're busy pretending to impeach Joe Biden, and they're busy, trying to deal with real crooks in their caucus. And okay, getting rid of Santos, that was important, but they're not dealing with the business of governing. They're just not. Okay, they're not doing their job. And so the more he pushes this sort of outside the realms of it, he's going to have a problem. It also looks, Ace of Pentacles, Page of Pentacles, it also looks like there may be some scandal or some issue coming up around money. Now, we already know there's sort of that weird issue because he doesn't have a bank account. Um, Now, of course, he has a bank account. He just chose not to fill in the blank or, put that information on the form that it was needed to go on. I mean, you can't tell me that members of the government do not get paid by automatic deposit. Like, these guys are not running to the bank every second week cashing their checks, okay? So that money has to go into an account somewhere. So somewhere there's an account. but it looks like there's going to be more questions raised, and it looks like he's going to have a little bit of a problem trying to answer the questions regarding finances. And following that two of swords, you have the Four of Pentacles. So he's going to really, really fight the Sun exposure. He's going to really try to hold on to that sort of privacy. And the more he holds tight, the more guilty he looks, the more it's going to get investigated and ultimately brought to light. So he's going to be fighting on a lot of fronts, right? He's going to be fighting with people within, maybe not his caucus, but within the government, certainly from the Democratic side of the House, with this hyper focus on, Christian religious beliefs sort of getting incorporated or weaved into the business of governing. And he's also going to be sort of fighting off some kind of investigations, kind of looking into stuff, his past, his present, where his money's coming from, where is it going, where did it go before, like that. And you've got the moon. So obviously there is a lot that still needs to come to light with him. Ultimately, this too shall pass. All right. I am asking, and I'm being told by March, he will be out of there. He will be, tower moment following the world. So this chapter is going to end for him. And it's going to end with a tower moment, with a sort of colossal downfall. And that's where he's sitting. That's what we're looking at down the road for Mike Johnson, Speaker of the House. Okay, now there has been, I'm just going to ask this. I've been asked it several times before. I'm actually going to pull up my pendulum because there's been a lot of people saying, is Hakeem Jeffries going to end up Speaker of the House before this term is over? Well, the term is going to be over, what, in like a month, right? The election is what, on the 4th? I'm recording this on the 4th. You're seeing it on the 5th. So there's not a whole lot of time there, but let's just ask if Hakeem Jeffries has a better than 80% chance of becoming Speaker of the House before the end of the year, before the next election. Okay, I'm still getting a no. I have consistently gotten a no, but there seems to be a little bit more chatter about the potential for that happening. Because, of course, with the loss of Santos, the House numbers have gone down. So they have an even slimmer margin than they did before that. All right. That's what I know about Mike Johnson right now. Okay, thank you so very, very much for being here. I just really do appreciate it. Don't forget to post your questions in the comment section, and I will see you tomorrow with another mini. Take care now. Bye-bye.